What have you seen as a difference between your clients that get results and the ones that don't get results?
Would say it basically just determination and really wanting it and actually putting the effort into it. I ain't gonna just say the person doing it everything and then they still not seeing a result. That is them actually implementing the workout and having a mindset to see it through. Some people like have that motivation in the first month and then they fall out the motivation soon as something get hard or the schedule change and other things come up rising. I always try to tell people, look, this is a lifestyle thing. This is not a get on the train and get off at the next stop type thing. It's not going to be in a perfect setting. You can't predict the future. Something is always going to come up. So you got to be able to roll. I call it rolling with the punches.
Welcome to Behind the Story, the show that explores the pivotal moments, lessons, and big visions of entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, leaders, and influencers redefining what's possible. I'm Jelani, your host and guide. Let's begin.
Trey, welcome to BTS. Thanks for being here.
Man, I'm glad to make it, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. For people who don't know who you are and the Next Real Fitness brand, introduce yourself to the audience. Tell us a bit about you and your background.
Yeah, man. I'm born and raised in Mississippi. I'm in Jackson right now, but I'm from a little small town called Drew, Mississippi. That's where the agriculture and the crops and all that stuff raised. So it's a kind of flatland type place. I'm not in the country part. I didn't live in the country part, but more in the city area. But there's a lot of country around there. But yeah, that's where I'm from. And I am a online fitness coach and trainer, and I've been doing it over 12 years now. And my target market now is working with artists and entertainers. So that's specifically music artists, musicians, actors, and models, creative too as well, and helping them sculpt their film masterpieces. And a few ways just to real quickly tell you how we help them is one is via our nutrition and fitness coaching, of course. Second way is via our network where we give not the fitness coaching side of things or the training, but more so fitness guidance and consulting. And then on the other side is network opportunities, showcasing your creativity, getting feedback, and being amongst like-minded others on all fronts. And then the third is my podcast, Sculpt and Create, where we sit down with artists and entertainers. We talk about their journey, their creative projects, their how they fit wellness into everything. And also we sit down with other wellness professionals outside of myself and entrepreneurs that I believe can help and lend some kind of value to artists and entertainers. So all three things that we are doing encompassing and embodied is to help artists and entertainers with their physical, personal, and career growth.
Why did you choose with artists and entertainers as opposed to working with everyday people?
Well, when I started out, I was basically like that. So like before I went online with it, I had always had like an element of online, but it was more so in person than anything. But I started out with that type of demographic where whoever walked in the door, it was more so in person. In person, I did various gyms, had my own little place there for a while, did it at parks and stuff like that. And, that was more, like I said, in person and so forth. And it was generally like people, I would say in the range of 25 to 55, looking to men and women looking to lose weight, looking to tone up, gain a little strength, muscle, and so forth. And that was kind of my avatar. But now when it came to me coming to this niche, there's a couple of things. Now, you always hear these marketing gurus, these business coaches and stuff like that. You got to niche down. You got to niche down and stuff like that. And at the time, I really like, okay, I'm hearing what they're saying, but I don't really know how to do it in going into a niche. And they had so many ways you need, either you niche to a certain group or you niche the specialty that you have or something like that. So I was like really confused in that space. And then until I like kind of realized where I wanted to go, but at the same time, I didn't know how to get into the space with artists and entertainers until this particular coach had a free program to kind of help you to draft your niche, and then I went from there. I say all that to answer your initial question is what started me doing that. When I thought about the niche, I would think they were like it's something you either passionate about or something you've been through. So I don't had a previous knee injury. I broke my knee 4 years ago, and I didn't want to do a niche around me helping people with their knee problems and so forth. But then my other one was what you were passionate about. So you look at that. I was I'm very creative. I can write, draw. Like making music and stuff like that. That's another thing that I'm going out to be for as a musician or music artist. So I would like and like fitness as well. So I would like let's put those both together where it's putting me helping with artists and entertainers with their goals. When you think about how they move, how they life is with their hectic schedules, they constantly on the road and is they just pulled every which way, so they're not necessarily able to stay in a steady position for long, especially one established. They ain't got to be totally like famous, but they established and definitely got some accolades to themselves and so forth. They are not staying at home at a set time that it would need for if they were working with an in-person trainer. Like with what I do for my online services, I can definitely help them because they wherever they go, I'm in their back pocket. So that's when it came to be when I started like looking towards helping them in that way. Because one, I'm becoming one as well, and then two, like if I can do it, you can too as well.
Definitely, I can understand too, because being an entertainer, it's a very visual business, so how they look is very important. So I can
Mhm.
understand that being a lucrative niche. What was the hardest part about building the business in the early days?
Well, now the coaching and training part that was easy because I mean I was already in it about a good 7 8 years. Me doing it just for my fitness, so I had practical knowledge of what to do and how to do, and so forth, trial and error and all that. So I had a good general knowledge such as that. But getting into it, you think that that's what all it would take. So you show that you can do it, the people will come. Now that was my naive moment where I like, okay, as soon as I get this certification, I'm automatically going to start getting clients and stuff like that. It didn't work like that. So I would say me not knowing what I didn't know. So really like what they don't tell you about in the certification world, when you get a certification, they don't really tell you how to start a business and stuff like that. They probably tell you how to get an LLC or something like that or whatever, in that part of it. But not necessarily like growing the business and also getting the person to a goal. When, like I said, I already had that practical knowledge, so I already know how to do that part. But the business side of things, I would say that was the first. That was the most hardest thing for me, like getting that off the ground, like because I didn't really know how I should price myself, afford my rates and so forth, how to go out there and get clients, how to make sales. I wasn't a salesman up until that point, and so first few years was definitely a learning curve right there until I, started getting to a better position of how I need to do it at work as a businessman, as a fitness coach, and where I want to see myself growing from there.
Break down the next role method for me. What makes your approach different from every other online fitness program out there?
Well, simply like I said, with it being tailored to artists and entertainers, is more so where it's fortified where no matter where they're going, in person or whether they at home, at the gym, on the road, is where we fit in a type of routine that helps them to, no matter what their goal is, that they still can achieve it with their hectic schedule and so forth. So definitely working on that mindset, building habits and the routine to go with their habits and everything, so they can be able to actually not only just help with their wellness, but also to enhance their creativity and for the long haul of their career too as well, for the longevity of it as well.
I was reading on your website that your program you customize the meal plans and training plans. And how do you go about tailoring that to each client's lifestyle?
Well, like I said, now I'm not a nutritionist. I always be transparent with my clients on that front. In certain states, they definitely don't want you to say you are and give a person, a meal plan and you're not a nutrition. So I do use a platform that helps me be the mediator of such, for giving them meal plans and stuff like that. I'm just really like guiding them and consulting
Like
them
a
based on,
curator.
yeah,
Like
I'm
curate.
curating, basically like let them know what, I'm telling them like why this is important and the reasons for and so forth. And then I'm making sure and holding them accountable to how to eat and all that stuff like that as well. And what's the other question you had?
With the meal plan and the training. How do you customize it? Yeah, the training. Match their lifestyle because as you mentioned, they're entertainers. They're
Hmm.
busy, they're on the go.
Hmm.
So how do you go about customizing that for their
Yeah,
lifestyle?
so I pride myself on not being a cookie cutter type of coach where it's just one blanket. workout that I give to anybody, and you just put them in this hamster wheel type of system, and then they just go and churn out, and you put another one in there. I don't work like that. Now the thing is, I did niche it to a particular type of way I train and coach and stuff like that for this particular demographic. Now that part is molded, but I still do when I teach, when I bring on a client and so forth, it is fortified to what their situation is. So it's about like, okay, Trey, I can only work out 30 minutes a day, and I can do maybe 3 times a week, something like that. Meal plan. I don't know if I can, do the meal plan part, or I need or I can maybe have some type of snacks or something like that on the road or whatever. I ain't able to cook because I'm driving, I'm constantly on the road or something like that or whatever. We'll make it 45 for like, okay, if you have to go to a restaurant, then this is what you need to do when you go there and everything, then get back onto the plan based on what we got here set for you and everything, make it inflexible that way. So everybody come in and have a different goal and different situation. We just meet them where they at and then apply a particular system in that way to help them not only be able to implement it into a busy schedule more seamlessly, but be able to reach those goals more effectively and efficiently as well.
I've often found that people have a lot of presuppositions and misconceptions about nutrition and about working out. What have you seen as some of the common misconceptions among your clients?
Let's see. That's a good one. I'm like, can you like rephrase where you coming at so I can be able to answer better?
So one common misconception is people have to starve themselves to lose weight. Another
Okay.
common misconception is, with women, for example, and you
Hmm.
talk about entertainers, if
Hmm.
they lift weight, they're gonna get bulky.
Okay. Yeah, I
And
got
so
you.
they
I
have
got
these
you. I got you.
misconceptions about exercise and
I
nutrition. I
got you.
was
Got you. Got you.
curious,
Yeah,
what do
yeah.
you see with your client base as some of the common ones?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's one of them where I don't want to lift weights because I'm gonna get to look like a man, and I always constantly say, man, that's not how it works. I mean, if that was the case, every man you see that pick up some weights would be buff, and everything like that or whatever. Not to talk on our men, but I have seen some guys that can't even do a pull up, and so forth, and everything. So that's not true. It's just really you just get a really deep tone, and everything like that. I always use Angela Bassett in What's Love Got to Do with It.
That's the
Uh,
most amazing physique. I mean, good
right.
one. Amazing.
And then even though she don't gain a little bit more weight, she was able still to maintain it with the weight that she
Yeah, she
gained.
was
And her,
amazing in that
yeah,
movie, the way
yeah,
she looked.
yeah, definitely. So that's the best way I can tell people, like you
Janet
see,
on tour. Have you seen pictures when Janet was younger? Janet Jackson, when
yeah,
she was
well,
younger and she was on tour,
yeah,
Janet was just diced. She's
right,
nice too.
right. And that yeah, so they're like it's a couple of examples out there. There ain't a whole lot, like I said, like it need to be for us in the artist and entertainment space. But yeah, that's one of the misconceptions. Now we talk about a guy recently. He didn't want, I was prescribing him. Now he wanted to gain weight, and he was a fairly small frame guy and so forth, but he wanted to gain weight. The thing that he didn't realize that to gain weight mean you need to eat more food. Technically, you know what I'm saying, and how he was eating, it wasn't a lot. And then at the same time, you were like, well, I don't got enough money to do so. So that was a misconception here. A lot of folks understand that the diet part is more important than it is than the actual workout. Just because you work out don't mean you're gonna get bigger. And the other thing that he told me, like I was prescribing him I do a 360 type thing. So, but I, hit you wherever whatever you want to target on, but we're going to work everything. But, he with the leg workouts I was prescribing him and so forth, I noticed he wouldn't do them. He'll do everything else I did, but he wouldn't do the leg workouts. And then I'm reaching out to him when he finally reached out to me and so forth and let me know. He said, man, I really didn't want to work out my legs because I feel like, what he said that he thought that his one, he think he was gonna bust out his jeans or something, like his jeans were gonna fit right. And I think it was about his about his manhood and stuff like that. That's gonna affect it. I don't heard misconceptions like that. So you know what I'm saying? So they run away from them like I don't know, man. I don't know how folks be, coming over with these things. But those two things that I have ran into, another misconception would be that people think that fitness is only a weight loss thing. Like, well, no, it's not a lose weight type of thing. It's a lifestyle, be healthy, longevity type thing. It's not really a weight loss thing. Yeah, a lot of people come and that mostly be their goal aesthetic wise. But just because you don't have the weight, you ain't got no weight that you want to lose, don't mean that you can't benefit from working out, eating right, and stuff, so forth. So those are a few misconceptions right there.
Perfect. Let me ask you, because as you were talking about the young man talking about what he thought would happen if he did legs, question popped into my head about people that have mental blocks, whether it's a mental block on training legs or mental block on eating right or whatever. When you've
Mhm.
come across that in your clients, assuming that you have actually, how do you coach them through overcoming the mental blocks that they may have towards, transformation, transforming their bodies?
Well, it's just really like, man, making them, well, getting, I don't want to say making them, but getting them to see in a different perspective than what they are thinking, how they are thinking. And it's sometimes hard, as well, because I'm not a therapist, but we
You
are
are,
put,
in a sense.
yeah, in the sense, that's what I said, that's what I'm about to say that. I said, in a sense, I got to be, because I got to break into their psyche to help them, to motivate them to see why they're doing this in a certain way,
Yes.
stuff like that. So it just really, man, sitting down and talking with them, get to know 'em, and everything like that as well. So I try not to be that transactional coach where I'm just training you, you do this and do that, and that's it. So when I sit down and really get to know you, see what your habits are and how you tick, nothing, it don't even have to be just the fitness stuff. There's like life in general. If I can break into that psyche and get to know you better, I can tap into helping you out on a more deeper level, because now we know each other, and you see and I'm here genuinely, not just I give you a workout and I expect you to follow it. Nah, I will, I'm going to go to the side of why you not following, what's going on, how can we get there into to a point where you are able to do it, like what's going on in your life, so I always try to get to know what's not. Yeah, I gotta get super deep into anything. I ain't gotta know, stuff that your secrets and stuff like that. But when it pertains to what we doing, what's going on, what's the mental block stopping you and so forth. And I go from there, and stuff like that, and how did that transpire, and how we can peel back those layers so we can get to a place of progress and so forth, and get you to your goals more effective from there.
Trey, in reviewing your website, I was reading the testimonials, and they're
Mhm.
noticeably strong.
I
I
appreciate
saw
it.
people on there transforming, not just physically, but also they talked about their energy, their mindset. And
Mhm.
I'm curious if you can share what's one transformation story from all your clients that really stands out for you, the one that you hold on to.
Well, that's very easy, because I always tell him he's my go-to guy, because I'm still working with him to this day. So he been with me going on 5 years now. And for when he first started, he had one goal. He wasn't a very, big guy and stuff like that. Just wanted to lose a little weight, tone up some and so forth. And then it just blossomed from there. So he reached that goal. Then he changed it up from there. He achieved that goal from there, and then it just, the years started to compound it from there, up until like a year, going on year, maybe a year and a half now, and everything. He hit me up saying, "Man, I'm thinking about going into MMA, and so forth." And so I'm like, "Okay, cool, man," And when he started looking for a gym and so, a MMA training gym and so forth, he was like, people were telling him, "Man, I already thought you was already doing this based on how we don't got him to his physique and so forth." And he was like, basically like just telling me that, thank you, man, because I wouldn't have thought to even do this if I haven't worked out with you, and everything. So it gave him that more newfound confidence to wanting to start into that based on how he felt and how he looked and so forth. So those type of things right there is one of my shining moments when I hear things like that. And like I said, he's still, going strong to this day. And yeah, moved since then, but to Seattle now. Found him another gym after he got settled. And he's getting ready for his next, or his second fight. He lost his first fight, but he getting ready for his second fight in Seattle in January and so forth. So we definitely we right now we gearing up for his workouts and stuff like that. So it's been a journey, because I never worked with a MMA fighter before and so forth. So I sometimes get roped into the athletic world. I don't do them a lot, but I get roped into them sometimes. So it's kind of like interesting to see that how the workouts they want him to do based on what they want him to do in the gym and based on what he doing outside. So once his trainer tell him what he want him to do, I just basically give him a workout program and regimen to go with that so it can coincide with that and it don't clash and so forth. So for the most part, they've definitely been, working for him and everything like that. So excited to be on this journey with him every step of the way, for the past 5 years and so forth.
Nice, nice. What's the difference between one of your clients that gets results and one that doesn't?
Okay, say it one more time.
So, what have you seen as a difference between your clients that get results and the ones that don't get results?
Uh, I would say it basically just they determination and really wanting it and actually putting the effort into it. I ain't gonna just say the person doing it everything and then they still not seeing a result. It's just, but I would say, but again, it's them actually implementing the workout and having a mindset to see it through. Some people like have that motivation in the first month and then they fall out the motivation. Soon as something get hard or the schedule change and other things come up rising, I always try to tell people, look, if you this is a lifestyle thing. This is not a get on the train and get off at the next stop type thing. It's this is it's not going to be in a perfect setting. You can't predict the future. Something is always going to come up. So you got to be able to roll. I call it rolling with the punches and so forth. So you got to fortify yourself when no matter whatever comes through, you still can get this in. And like I said, it's not going to be. I would tell them not going to be. It's not gonna be easy, but I can make it simple for you. You just gotta you just gotta do the work, and so forth. So I would say that would be the thing is people willing to put the work in, the time, and the mental fortitude that it takes to do such things. So, but a lot of folks think that everything got to be perfect to actually do it, and that's not true. And that's why you start and stop and go into that yo-yo type of mentality or whatever.
How do you balance holding them accountable without negatively impacting their psyche and overwhelming them?
Sound like say so you basically saying maybe like without talking about them in a sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you need to hold them accountable to do
Right.
what you need them to do, but you don't want them y- to feel like you're coming down on them in a
Okay.
negative way, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I have got into some deep, conversations with a client before, and I don't try to talk down and stuff like that. That's not my style. You got some coaches that love to talk about them, and everything. Now, I do get tough with you, but at the same time, I'm not a talk down type person. That. But anyway, I digress on that. But how do I do that? Is basically, man, like I said again, back to the therapy thing. What you were saying, we were talking about earlier is really like just understanding what they're going through, what's on their mind, and then I kind of like reflect on letting them know why did you come here in the first place? Why did you come here to work with me? You said you were serious then, so what changed now? And so forth. So those type of things. Okay, you said this because somebody said they thought you was pregnant, and everything like that or whatever. How did that make you feel? And so forth. So okay, let's change that. Why? Okay, you didn't like that, so let's change that. And so forth. This is how you change it. Or you say you want to be here for your kids and your husband or your wife. However, the way you do that is taking care of yourself first. I understand you're a Superman, Superwoman. You want to be there for your kids. This is how you do it. You got to be selfish to help them, and everything like that or whatever. So those type of things I do to motivate them and help them out and everything towards their goal and get them back on the straight and narrow.
I'm curious, you're the trainer, obviously, but I'm curious, what does your personal routine look like? What's a day in your life look like?
Roughly, I work 6 days a week, and for the gym and so forth, I can probably bring that down to 5 days, but normally I do three heavy days, and then the other three be light. So I start off with chest and tries on Monday. Tuesday I work on biceps and biceps and shoulder, then legs and back, at the end or whatever, and then kind of repeat that and so forth. So, and my goal is not to lose weight, so it's really like to gain and maintain. So roughly, like I'm staying around there. So getting making sure I do the workout that's for muscle building and endurance, a little bit of endurance, keep the heart rate up and everything as well, and also to keep said muscle that I have on me too as well. Now, for as eating, I go. It's hard for me to actually follow like a get on a meal plan because I'm doing so many things. So for me, I kind of follow the how you say that acronym. If it fits your, well, I just say the word, this whole thing. If it fits your macros, then you have heard that before.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically I follow that process or whatever in the way that I eat. I'm pretty much knowing like how much this is in protein, calories, and stuff like that. And then I use the same tools that I do to have for my clients when it comes to eating and so forth, making sure I drink well, I don't drink a lot of drinks and so forth, in that manner. And that's pretty much it. I get a lot, and make sure I get a lot of sleep and everything as well.
Okay. What do fitness coaches actually do versus what people think you do? Like, what's the difference?
I don't see any memes and jokes on this. Right. Okay. Let me think for a minute. Let's see. Like one of them is like that, where they think like, especially with the guys. I don't know how it is on the women's side. That's a coach and trainer, but especially with the guy, they think we all talking to women, every woman we see, and everything
Mm.
like that. So that's one thing, and that's not my style. I mean, you got so many people. I think too a lot with that. You got so many people that say they are coach and trainer, not really a coach and trainer. They just seen somebody they like. Let me, okay, you're not doing that right. Let me show you how to do it. And it's real easy to do if you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's all you need is an icebreaker. You know what I'm saying? Once the ice break, you good. But that's one thing. Let's see. I would say that they would think that we are, let's say, we are super uber, healthy because we preach it so much and everything like that. But we are human just like everybody else, man. I try to tell people, man, and that's why I say I try to be transparent. Is like I like my sweets, and stuff like that. I'm a big baked goods and stuff like that and everything like that. But it just, I know it's time and a place for a certain thing. So things like that. I would say, let's see, that we maybe uptight, and everything. Like we think we better than the most people. I would say that that's one thing because we are we hold ourselves to a certain standard. And also we are looked at a certain standard. I always, because which is a crazy and weird dynamic. I remember like I had a client, and then she no longer him or her are no longer my client. And then
Hmm.
the minute I see him, sometime all I'm saying is, "Hey, how you doing?" I ain't say, "How's your fitness?" I didn't say none of that. I just said, "Hey, how you doing?" "Hey, man, I'm doing all right, man. I'm eating wrong and stuff like that. Don't gain by 20. I ain't asked you none of that. You know what I'm saying? So I just said, "How you doing?" That's,
Giving
what I'm
you a full
saying.
report.
Yeah, they give me a full report so that, so it's like you got that, we have that in the same vein of that respect for, is like a preacher have respect. Like you see them and you don't want that preacher to see you out doing something that you ain't supposed to be doing or whatever,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So that's why I say it's a weird dynamic. So they look at it as a example or whatever that of what they need and shouldn't be doing. And then, they, and I always try to say we ain't perfect as well, and everything like that. We have our times and stuff like that too as well, where we don't want to work out or don't work out or eat too much or and everything like that. We have our times like that.
Let me ask you a question. I'm curious. Where do you work out? Do you go to a gym? Do you just work out at home? And I'll tell you why I'm asking you after you answer the question.
Yeah, so yeah, I work at a gym. I have done home workout, especially when COVID came. I don't really like the workout at the house because one, I'm a true bodybuilder by heart. You know what I'm saying? So I love the iron.
Hmm.
And it's just not the same doing body weight type workouts. You can do that for a while, but you're trying to keep a certain type of muscle and everything like that. You can't do that for long. And think you'll keep that same type of muscle. You'll keep it for a good while, but the strength won't be there, and stuff like that or whatever. So, but yeah. So I do my main thing is the gym.
Okay. The reason I ask is there, there's lots of trends on
Hmm.
online social media, and you see all these trends with people posting different workouts and videos and stuff. And for me, I shake my head because if you really go to the gym and you look at that stuff, a lot of it is just bunk. It's just crap. It's just people posting something that they thought looked great and looked
Right,
so hard to do
right,
that
right.
they want to impress people on. And it's just so frustrating. And then I get frustrated when I go to a gym and I see and I get frustrated and feel bad at the same time because I see young people, or not just young people, people who you could tell they've not been going to the gym a long time.
Right,
And
right.
you could tell that if you go to the gym, because you could tell what they're doing and you're looking at it and you're going, oh my God, he saw that crap on TikTok or he saw that
Mhm.
crap on Instagram. That is not good. It's not going to work. And he's trying to do it. And my frustration is they're in the way.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when I realized I was old because I was going to the gym with my 13-year-old son, and he said, "Dad, that's normal. You're just old." And I said, "I must be because I'm like, get out of my way so I can grab the hundreds." It's like you have a tripod with the as trying to do some acrobatic type thing you
Right,
saw
right,
on
right.
TikTok that's just stupid, and I just
Yeah.
want to grab the hundreds and get on the bench. Move.
Right, 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 right.
Do you get that sense of, and the reason I painted that whole picture is because I want to ask you, have you ever had a client come to you and they have these thoughts in their head about what they think they should be doing and want to do and try to tell you? How do you handle that?
Oh, okay. So you sound like you had me a few questions on that. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah. Take whichever one you want.
So,
Start off with the whole gym
uh,
thing.
yeah. So, yeah, the thing with that is you got the influencers and then you got a fitness coach. Fitness coach or trainer. So that's two different skill sets. There's some overlap because us as trainers and coaches, we do got to be on social media to a certain degree to show what we're doing and know and let folks know we know what we're talking about. But it gets to a point where it gets to like theater or, like for show what you're doing or how you're doing. And most of the reason because is it's not sexy just to say, okay, I only did three sets of 12 bench press and everything to get these results and did this to get this result and so forth. Instead of, you doing all these outlandish, jumping, doing your hands like that or on the pull up thing, pulling yourself all the way up, which is is basically that's what folks don't know is that's a celebration of how fit you are, not
Right. Muscle up.
necessarily.
The muscle
Yeah,
up.
yeah. It's a celebration of how fit you are, not necessarily not. It's not really the goal. You don't really do that in your actual workout routine. You know what I'm saying? So the workout routine is very boring. And another reason why I stopped showing my workouts, like when me working out and stuff like that, because that's all I was doing. I wasn't doing out the basically the show off stuff, and everything or
Right.
whatever. Like,
Yeah.
every sport you can kind of think when it comes to fitness, every particular sport or whatever got they type of thing, the way you show off. It's no exception, but I don't think the general public realize that, and everything. Like, it's like, look what I can do, not this is what you do to get to that. You know what I'm saying? So that, like I said, that's the sexy part of it. It's not sexy enough, so that's why you see a lot of influencers do that and everything. And they not really technical or whatever. And then most time when they trying to get you motivated just to buy their ebook, and they ain't really following up with you and everything like that. You got the ebook, so they need 20,000, 30,000 people to buy a particular $10, $20 book or whatever to get their money and everything. Versus a coach who's sitting down with you and telling you, the odds and ends, checking with you every day and so forth. So it's a little bit different how you got to approach people and everything as well. So I would say that. Now, when a person comes to me and then they say, I seen this, or can we do this or that? It'd be a lot of things like that or whatever. Those be some of the clients be kind of hard to deal with because they want you to go out your norm, than what you already know and do, for your criteria. I don't have people like, now, why we ain't just working on abs? I'm not the ab coach. If you want somebody to just say they finna work out abs today, this is an ab workout. I'm not that. You already pretty much working out the abs anyway. And when you're squatting, when you're doing rows, you're already pre-engaging the abs and stuff like that. So we're gonna work that, but it's a 360 deal when you come on with me. So things like that. A person, they got a preconceived notion in mind that this is how they're gonna do it, but they coming to me anyway. I'm like, why did you come to me? If you felt like you know what to do, you know what I'm saying, then why
Are
do
you
you why you know what I'm saying, why are you here? So those be the hardest ones to really work with in a sense, because sometimes one person that did that, I just went on, let her, do what she, did, and then like, okay, I said, okay, now you see, let's can we do it this way, and everything like that. And then she kind of got on board a little bit after that, but it still didn't last long or whatever. So I would say those would be the harder one when they come with a preconceived notion of they know what to do and stuff like that. Now, but you got to like sometimes just let them know, okay, you can like listen to them and say, okay, all right, but what if we did it this way? Or you kind of let them see for a second, then say, okay, and give them a reason why that's not or whatever, stuff like that. But once they like see you know what you're doing, and then they see differently in different way, they kind of be more perceptive and forthcoming with what you are telling them after that. I don't had a client too say, well, what about this person who did this or she doing this and she lost this? Well, you don't probably heard that too. I was like, well, you don't know her story, so you don't know how she eating. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how she working out. Is she working out? How many times a day she working out? Stuff like that. And she lost this much weight. Like you don't know what
You
you
don't know
ain't.
any of that.
You don't know any of that. Then her genetics different and stuff like that. So I said you really need to just focus on you and what you're doing and stuff like that. So those are few ways I address that and everything. Hopefully I answered most of those
Yeah,
questions
you
you got.
answered quite sufficiently. Thank you. I'm curious, do you recommend any type of supplements to your clients? Do you ever have that discussion with them? Any
Yeah,
go-tos?
yeah, and I try to steer away from it unless I really know unless I'm really like using the supplements myself. I do it every now and then. Like I use on that works for me. Uh, the nutrition, and I recommend that. But other than it's so much stuff out there, Godzilla, Godzilla 3000, Hook Muscle 22 or something like that. You know all these outlandish claims and stuff like that. Some of these supplements have and everything. And I try to tell people, man, I always say this. I always preface it this way. Okay, yeah, supplement it don't whatever supplement everybody is different, so whatever supplement you take, I can recommend this. It might not do nothing for you, but it'll work for the next person. So it's really a trial and error when you're going out there for the supplement. And I try to tell them too as well that you understand that with a supplement means in addition with lack thereof, or following up from a lack of, and so forth. So you are only supplement what your body you didn't get from actual food. So I like it comes from the actual food first. So 85, 90% maybe come, let's say if you're working very intensely and you work out pretty vigorously, yeah, you might need some supplements and everything to get you over the hump and everything more readily. But let's say for the most basic, most people are like coming just for a general goal. They just want to get toned a little bit, lose a little weight. They ain't trying to do all that extra stuff. So they won't probably need supplements. It's just as long as you're getting enough from your food, from your actual diet, that's good enough, and so forth. But if you're not, and let's say a person, they get up in the morning and haven't ate and they don't really eat first thing when they get up in the morning and so forth. Okay, maybe a supplement good for that. Go and get you some kind of protein in or something like that. It's instances I like, it's a case by case basis, like whether I would say a protein is good if you're not getting all of it in, or you can't cook everything and so forth. Then yeah, getting these type of supplements good, and everything. Now your general vitamins good, but again, it still depend on how you eating and so forth.
I've been taking creatine for 30 years. It's my
Hmm.
staple.
Yeah.
And even now I made my own creatine gummies product that I sell. I'm
Okay.
curious, what are your thoughts on creatine?
Creatine, your body creates that. You know what I'm saying? It's a quick source of energy and stuff like that, especially good for when you are in the gym, and so forth. But now, thing about creatine, it definitely can bloat you up. So I would say make sure you drink a lot of water. In that case, try not to overly do it and everything like that as well, because it can have those same adverse effects like, people have like hydroxycut and all that stuff like that or whatever. I don't know if you heard it, they was having like heart troubles and stuff like that, or taking too much of it. So I would say, watch that or whatever, but just make sure you drink a lot of water. A lot of people, when they take supplements, they don't like to drink water. So it's kind of hard to tell them to drink, especially like, okay, like myself with the protein shakes and so forth. It say drink water. I try the water, it's super nasty with water. So I do mine with milk, and milk or something like that or whatever, but for taste. But you got some folks that, like I said, that's the only time that they drinking water and they take this creatine that they ain't exercising enough. That, like I said, they got to make sure they exercise enough and drink plenty of water. I said just got to make sure that they following up with the instructions is what I'm saying.
Let's talk a bit more about the business.
Mm.
and some of the challenges that you face, because growing a coaching business, especially online, it requires, marketing and content creation, client management. How do you manage all of that?
How do I manage the clients or the business side of things?
Yeah, how do you manage the different things that goes into driving the business? How do you manage all of it?
Like I told you before, when I first started, I didn't have any kind of clue of how to run a business. So it's over years of building that foundation and so forth. So I have been with some business coaches and marketers and stuff like that to understand modicum of how to do it and so forth to build upon it and everything like that. Now I still have my struggles and stuff like that, but I'm way more advanced than I was when I first started and so forth. But it just like I said, it's really like knowing like again, you know what your business is, what you want to do, and who you want to work with. Especially when it's being online, it got to be a little bit more strategic than it is being in person. Now, when you're in person, out of who walk in the door, that's your client. You know what I'm saying? They say they want to work out, that's your client. Now, when you're online, is more so about, like I said, I'm tailored to artists and entertainers, so you kind of have to have a niche in a sense. So I can let's say for instance, if I'm working with people who want to lose weight, but this guy coming to me want to gain weight, most of my stuff is fortified for people who want to lose weight. I can help that person with how to gain weight, but that mean I would have to tweak my stuff to fit that one person. So with it being online, you can be able to cater to that one person. Then you can put them in this type of routine because all your workouts and then like I said, you change accordingly depending on what clients you get, so forth. So it's all about really like knowing what your business is, who you work with, who you want to work with, and then and how you want. Then once you know that, then you know how you want to run your business on the back end. So that's about how you gonna charge your rates. Is you gonna do it bi-weekly, weekly, monthly? Excuse me. And like how long of the term is it? Are you trying to do a shift term like 12 weeks, or are you trying to do a results program, or both? And so forth, stuff like that. Then it gets into what systems you're gonna use to deliver the workout, to deliver the nutrition and the scheduling and all that stuff like that or whatever. All of it once you like start like getting into it and developing into it, the more you learn and more you like make mistakes and so forth, you'll learn what you need to do and how you want to do things going forward. So I always tell that person who aspiring to be this and getting started into it, man, don't think it got to be just one way, because that's how when I first started, man. I knew a guy told me that, and I didn't really hear him until later on, where he was like, I thought everything got to be aligned. I wanted to be super perfect because I would get these people to sign all these contracts. He said, man, I don't even use half of that stuff. It's just these couple things, get it to them to sign, and that's it. And then also too, for us who you want to work with. So or how you train. And
Hmm.
that's one thing that like just because you started one way don't mean you got to keep doing it that way. So as you progress and stuff like that, you learn who you want to work with, what kind of coach and trainer you want to be, and what systems you want to do to help them get there and all that stuff like that. So that's how I kind of integrate them and everything like that. Now I don't know, I might I wouldn't say I got a form of ADHD when it comes to business. I might do, because I got a lot of little tabs, and a lot of people try to bring their tech stack down as much as possible and try to go into those platforms where they just all in one platform.
Yes.
I understand it to a degree. For some things, I want that, but not everything. I'm used to like, okay, I'm gonna go here for that, go there for that. As long as it's on my end, and I'm not giving it out to clients and everything, because it can get confusing on the client end. They got to go do everything or whatever. But on my end, it made perfect sense because I know where everything is and what I'm doing. But I know for some coaches they like to have everything in one platform. But to me, everything in one platform, sometimes the thing that you want to do, it ain't gonna be the best at other than on this platform is more better on this platform. So that's my thinking towards it when it comes to running a business and the systems and tools that you use to run your business.
What would you say is the biggest lesson that you've learned?
Biggest lesson that I've learned is that uh you gotta love it for the most part. If you don't really like it, is you don't really want to do this. If you thinking it's just a big cash grab or a side job, you ain't gonna do it for long, because you're gonna get them people who you putting your heart and soul into this, especially you putting your heart and soul and you believe in this, and then that person look at you like whatever you told them going one ear and one eye out the other one. It definitely can be, a slap in the face to you, and everything. I mean, look, I'm doing all the work to help you to get to this goal, and then you just next time I talk to you, you didn't do anything of that. You know what I'm saying? But you came to me for this goal. I would say that would be passionate about it because those times right there and will make you like kind of reevaluate yourself. Like, man, look, there ain't nobody trying to do this or whatever. Like, I might need to quit or whatever. So that's one of the big thing I would say. You got to be passionate about this and so forth to see it for the long haul. If I had to choose one.
The fitness industry, like we were talking about earlier, is filled with a lot of trends and gimmicks and
Hmm.
quick fixes. How do you stay ahead of all of that?
A lot of trend quick fit. Yeah, I mean, basically, I'm 39, so you look, I don't looked at my dad when he was working out. That's how I came to be a trainer, starting from him.
Mhm.
Well, he wasn't a trainer, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, but you don't see no people like Arnold Schwarzenegger and all these bodybuilders and stuff like that. You don't see what they worked out back in the day. Yeah, they were juicing, you know what I'm saying, too. But you seen what they were working out on,
Mhm.
and compared to the stuff that we working on now, but way more advanced than what they was working on back then. So I kind of follow the old adage where if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and everything like that. So the stuff that worked back then definitely can work now, and so forth. So the trend that come, if it's a trend that you think it stay, you kind of like, okay, you can latch on to it, but at the same time, you still follow the foundational teachings and your practical knowledge and everything, adapting to everything that you know to as well and apply it to that, instead of getting caught up on these trends. Cause yeah, they real easy to get caught up on and like you follow this and everything, everybody on this, and then you start trying to go to learn that so you can teach that thinking that's a money grab, but you'll keep doing it. Next trend come around, you trying to get that because that's a money grab on everything because everybody want to follow what's ever new, and you trying to, you fall to me and you go further and further away from who you are as a coach and trainer.
If somebody comes to you, and they've been on that vicious cycle of failing on diets, failing on the exercise, there are people like that. They're trying, they're failing for whatever reason. And they come to you now and they're there and they say, look, I've been trying everything.
Mhm.
I just can't lose weight. The workouts don't work, nothing work. Take me through like a brief process with you. Can you get them started to get them onto the right track?
First and foremost, like I said, I see what the situation is, what time they, like how can they get into the gym, what time they got to get to, not necessarily gym. When I say gym, I just mean workout as a whole, but how long can they work out for and so forth. Eh, From there, I always like that first week or two, I kind of make that like a warmer week where I see what their diet is, how they logging into the program, how they logging their nutrition in, like if they eating enough, if they eating over enough, or however that be. And then we do the work depending on the client. Like I said, however I tell them to do their workouts, how they doing their workouts towards that. Most times when they come to me and say I tried everything and do this, they don't have anything to compare it to,
Mhm.
and everything like that. So things hear is where personnel like, man, back so and so time, I lost 20, 30 pounds and I was eating this and I was doing that. All right. So that was 5, 10 years ago. You are 5, 10 years older. You know what I'm saying? So that means your metabolism could have changed. Where was you working at then? What kind of job you had? Was you kind of active in that job? Was you more active back then?
Mhm.
Those are like issues, not issues, but instances and situations that you were doing differently why you were lost that 20, 30 pounds, but you didn't have, like I said, you wasn't comparing it to anything. So you can't
Exactly.
replicate it. So by the time you get to it, like you try to do that again, it's not working because you didn't really like know what you were doing. So like how much was you eating? Do you know your calorie intake? Nah, I never really count my calories. Like, well, how do you know? And was it this amount of protein? Was it this or whatever? So you can't really replicate it and everything because you don't know how to do it. And then once your body get used to a certain way of working out and eating, you got to change it up again. So if you ain't had nothing to compare it to, so how you know what to change? So that's why I try to tell people, I see what they doing first, and then get them to look at it too. So I hear that all the time where when they come to me and they look at their diet, like I say, okay, especially with the women, because the women don't tend to eat a lot anyway than us most guys and so forth. So when you put a number to it, they'll be like, okay, let's say in 1,500 ain't, and that ain't nothing. I could eat 1,500 in one setting and then not
Meal,
blink an
yeah.
eye. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, but you saw on 1,600, maybe 1,800 calorie diet, and they be like, "Oh, that's a lot of food." And I say, "It's really not." And then when I say, "Okay, look, just put this in. Don't worry about what they gave you for right now. I just want to see what you log. Make sure you log everything that you eat and so forth." And then most time out of time they eat. You'll see they eating over that 1,800. So I said, "Look, it ain't that you eating a whole lot of food is the part that you looking at the time frames and stuff like that, and spread out. So you really eating over this or whatever. So basically, all I'm trying to get you to see is you can spread that 1,800 out in the course of 6 times or whatever, however times, and everything, depending on what your time is. But let's say we spread it out 6 times or whatever, and that make it small chunks and stuff like that. You're not eating, not. I try to get them to see that you're not eating a lot. You just eating more often. And when you spread it out that way, you won't be as hungry. Most women, when they eat maybe once or twice a time, and then they pig out, time frame because the time that they didn't eat in previous settings and so forth. So they making it up for the lost time and stuff like that. But they're not realizing how the calories and stuff work. So that's that hopefully that explains your question. If I'm
It did.
okay,
It did.
okay.
What do you wish more men, especially black men, understood about their health and diet and longevity?
Good question. Oh, okay. Us as men, testosterone is important. So we start losing it, especially when getting in our 30s. I'm 39, and even more so in our 40s. Uh, Especially if sex life is important to you, you want to get in the gym, and stuff like that. You want to eat a certain way and everything like that or whatever to keep that up. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, and this is really like this is for bone health and everything like that. We take on a whole lot and everything. So working out definitely increases your bone density and everything. I would say we need to make sure we stay strong as much as possible and all that as well. Um, let's see. What was the question you had?
Just like about, longevity, about our
Mm,
health,
uh,
what would you want them to know that's important for them to
oh well,
consider?
yeah, and in most statistics, we die before the woman do. Especially if you're married and so forth. So if you want to stay here longer, that comes from you taking care of yourself, while you're younger and everything like that. So we tend to like think, oh, I'm all right, I gotta work, gotta do this and stuff like that. Yeah, like again, that goes to the point when I was talking about you got to be selfish first. You know what I'm saying? In order to do everything else you need to do for us, be here for your kids and your wife. If you got a business or work and all that stuff like that, take care of yourself first. That's most important. Don't wait until it's too late. Talking to myself too. I need to get checked and everything. Be transparent with you and stuff like that. My dad died of cancer and everything like that too. And a couple of his mom and my grandmama and my auntie, his sister, they died of cancer as well. So I probably need to check myself a little bit earlier than them. So and I think of us in our culture and us as black men and dealings we had with hospitals back in the day.
Historically, in the
Yeah, yeah,
United
yeah,
States, anyway.
yeah. So we kind of tended to like don't want to go into the hospital, and so forth, or we so much in what's in front of us, we ain't thinking about ourselves in that instance until it's too late. And everything. So don't wait until it's too late to start doing something, and towards your goal. If it's something you can change, go ahead and change it, and everything. Don't wait till the doctor say you need to do this and do that. And then, and now you're trying to scramble to do that. Cause I looked at my dad. I mean, even though, like I said, I got my fitness from him. He was a coach at one time as well. He was in PE and all that stuff like that. When he was doing cancer, he looking at a book, just like it was like what would Jesus eat, stuff like that. So he looking at different ways on how he should be eating and everything like that. So You don't want to wait until that time, and when it's already happening to you. You want to do it beforehand, so forth. So, and basically, like I said, foolproof in your body, for the long haul. So you can see your daughter or your son walk down that aisle and see them graduate and see your grandkids and stuff like that, and be able not only just sitting on this my personal goal. I have a son. He's 18. I told him, like, wait till I'm like 45 before you say if you want to have some kids. And I don't want to be a granddad just yet. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, my goal is, like, if he do have some kids, or like, I wanted them to be like, man, granddaddy fast. I don't want to be just sitting down and just having them on my lap or something like that, and just playing around with them while they, just looking at them playing around, and I can't do anything with them. I want to be able to run behind them. So that's my thing.
Good advice, and it's funny you talk about getting checked because I always joke and say my best defense against health insurance and all of that is not being sick and not ever needing it. And,
Right, right.
knock on wood, I've been doing well so far. I've never been in a hospital, never had anything. But
Okay.
we share a similar background. My dad died of cancer too, self-inflicted with lifestyle and whatnot. So I have
Mhm.
that ADHD when it comes to health and fitness, to where if I'm supposed to get something because of genetics, I can't avoid that. But I'm not gonna make myself get anything by how I live. That's not
Right,
gonna happen because I can
right,
control that.
right, right.
I understand from that perspective. Out of curiosity, right now there's lots going on with AI, and people can just go, ask AI for a training program, ask
Mhm.
AI for a diet program. Have you seen
I know where
any
you're going.
negative impact on your business as a result of AI?
I already knew where you were going. I think it's a fear for some coaches and trainers out there, thinking that it's going to affect their business in some kind of way. And I don't see it different. I use it, and everything like that. But my thing is, when people come to us, they come to us for two things. One, they come to us because it's a living person, it's an actual body. And two, accountability, and everything like that. And I would say the third thing, maybe knowledge, and so forth. So even though you're getting some kind of knowledge from the AI and so forth, but you don't know what to ask it. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what you don't know what not to ask, or what to ask to get you to a certain goal. Yeah, you can say, give me a workout program for to gain weight and the nutrition to go with that. But you ain't equating the time you probably need to do it, or the sleep patterns you need to have into it and so forth and everything like that. And then who holding you accountable to that and make sure you're doing all that. Locking everything in too as well. So like I said, like I was saying earlier. So you ain't doing all that. It can give you a workout program, and it's no different from when people can get a book. They got a workout book or something like that, or they can go. Back before AI came, you can Google a workout routine or a nutrition routine. You can look at a YouTube video that, man, put a workout program on there, but most of them fail because they don't have the accountability. They don't understand what it takes to get into everything. They don't, like I said, they don't know what they don't know, and a coach and trainer helps them to don't went through all that and know and been through those trenches to and went through and perused all the knowledge and stuff like that and regurgitating to you in a more efficient manner. So you in a more efficient manner, so you won't have to do all that stuff yourself, and you can get to it more quicker that way. Uh so I'm not scared of, but I like I said, but nah, I don't see the effects of that or whatever, because like I said, I'm a result driven business. I don't have people like, can you give me a workout program? I don't like to give workout programs out. I'll be like, because I can give it to you, that one, but I'm not behind it though. So I don't gave it to you, and I'm not following up with you on everything. So now my name on it, you know what I'm saying?
Now
And you
you
don't.
are accountable.
Now, yeah, yeah. Now you are accountable, yeah, and you don't do it. And I got this workout from Trey, and it didn't do anything. But you ain't told them how you eat. You ain't told them you only did it.
How
You
many
might have did it
workouts
one.
you missed?
How
You
many
want
workouts yeah,
discipline.
yeah, yeah, and say I ain't coaching you on it. I'm just giving you a workout plan. But my name tied to that because I gave you that workout plan. So I don't really like to get that, and everything, because I know how people do workout plans.
Of course, of course. I got two more questions before I let you get out of here,
Oh, you,
Trey.
oh, you good?
where do you see your brand going? Like, what's the future? What does that look like in the next few years?
Okay. Well, like I told you before, the three things that I'm doing right now, and helping with artists and entertainers. So a little bit of that being broad and known, especially with the network and the podcast space for per se, and everything. The coaching is one thing, but those two fronts, I think I want to see more growth in that. Where in the network is more where, again, like I said, they're not getting coaching or training. That's usually our most flagship or more cost rated services. This one right here is for those folks who probably can't afford it, or they just they might know what to do or whatever. They just need some actionable help to get them to a goal. So they definitely get that consulting, that I call it fitness consulting, and fitness consulting and what is this other word I'm trying to use, but fitness coaching, fitness consulting for the most part, and or the advice, fitness advice, yeah, consulting and fitness advice is just like just guiding them, fitness consulting guidance and advice, where they getting some actionable help to go towards their goal in a certain way, whether it be on the diet and stuff like that. And the networking side is more so where like-minded individuals, artists, entertainers, creatives, and so forth, they come into a space where, okay, not only getting the help and advice from me, but they also getting from their peers, or like, this is what I'm doing to do this and everything, and this is what I'm doing to do this and stuff like and everything. And they getting that type of motivation and support on the fitness side, and then as well as the networking side, where they building opportunities, and you never know. I can have a producer in there looking for somebody to make beats for or something like that, and I got a music artist that need that very exact thing. So
So
building up, yeah, connecting, yeah, doing that type of thing and so forth. So also they expressing their creativity, and they might want feedback, because a lot of I see pay feedback for, some of these people just listen to music and they just listeners. They not necessarily in the game themselves. But they might got an ear for it. I'm not gonna knock it, but you got some of them, listen. They might got a good following. They listen to your song and they just give their opinion on it. Not necessarily the right. Might not be necessarily the right advice to help you along with your craft and so forth. This way you can like share your stuff. Like, man, what y'all think of this? Somebody might can critique it and all that stuff like that. So feedback, sharing, expressing your creativity, and more we want to do in there. I want to host like networking events and stuff like that as well. Um, or a lot of online networking events that I've been into, they usually cast a broad net of people that's in there that's not in the artist or entertainer realm or have those type of clientele. So that's what I was running into. So like it's mostly like real estate, doctors, lawyers, and marketers and stuff like that. It's, all this corporate stuff that was the online network event. So I like, well, why don't I do that for artists and entertainers, where they can, whoever they looking for, I have those people in this event so they can meet each other and so forth. So that's where I want to see it at in the near future. Now, I don't know if that's going to be taken into like the 5-year mark or whatever, but I definitely want to expand, like, from the online space and the networking part. I want to expand that to an actual location where it'll be that where we can do the networking in person, and have a spot where they can showcase, like showcase their talent and everything. Do they work kind of like a working space for artists and entertainers as well? Entertainment space, and a place that they can just be themselves and stuff like that, and lounge and all this stuff like that. So that's one thing I want to do on that side. I think that was the one that was, it was another question, not the second question, but it was something else to that question you had.
No, that was it. You got it.
Okay,
You
okay.
got it.
Oh yeah, and my bad.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
the podcast. And so the podcast, another thing, like I said, for the artists and entertainers. So, get that to a space. I want to get it like you told me earlier, that you said you number, what you say you are?
Number 33 out of
Number
100.
33. All right,
Yeah.
congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I didn't know
And
nobody.
thanks to you, people like you that come on and share their story. It's
Okay,
not
cool.
possible without any of you. So thank you.
Cool. But and you definitely will, you welcome as well. But I definitely want to get it to that point, where I, able to monetize and all the stuff like that, and get to a space where I can shine a light not just on me, but on the people that, again, like I was talking about with the network, that the people that I interview, artists, entertainers, and stuff like that, get a place where they can shine and everything, and see them in a new light. Because the way I'm doing it, I feel like it's probably like not a lot of people doing it in this space as far as my podcast or talking about this. And most time it's just really about the fun stuff. And we do talk about fun stuff. It ain't all um tactical where I'm just giving you a blueprint on how to lose weight and all this stuff. It ain't nothing like this. It's entertainment. They getting to tell their story and stuff like that or whatever. But I think the way I'm talking with them and everything definitely shines a light a little different. And then I see like the hip hop, because that's my main genre I like. So that I see people in the hip hop spaces interviewing people and all this stuff like that. Sometimes it don't put them in a certain light other than what they music is, and that's it and everything. But it don't really go into a deeper level and everything other than that.
Trey, for anybody listening or watching that wants to work with you, what's the best first step? How do they contact you, connect with you? Like, what's the first step?
Yeah, so they can find me pretty much on nextworldfitness.com, and pretty much all my info there. They can take the Fit Masterpiece, the fit masterpiece score, and that definitely they once they take that assessment, it's 15 questions, take about 3 minutes. They can take that test on there. It'll be the first thing once you swipe down. It'll kind of give you your score of where you kind of land, and it'll kind of give you an idea of what will work for you best. So what it start with the network, or where you kind of build those stepping stones, and then maybe later on get into coaching if you want to take it to the next level, or actually you actually want us to do the coaching. They'll kind of like tell you that that'll be the next step from there, and then you schedule a call, and we can talk from there and go from there.
And final message, how do you want people to remember what you've built?
So you give me on that one. All right. So, all right. All right. Ask that one more time.
How do you want people to remember what you've built? Legacy. Think of it from a legacy perspective.
Legacy standpoint.
Yeah.
Now, what I didn't mention, I did mention a little bit. I'm a music artist myself as well. Oh, that's a good one, man. You got me on that.
Wait,
Go ahead.
let me ask you a question this way. And I'm going to paraphrase something I read in a book years ago. And I'm not saying it to be morbid, but think of it that you've passed on, you've transitioned on, you
Mhm.
met your 18-year-old son, and they've asked him to come up and talk about dad.
Okay.
What would you want him to say?
Okay, that's a good one. That'll help me out a little better. A man with I say unwavering discipline or whatever, or going for his dreams and so forth. So, a person that had a vision and executed on it, a go getter. A person generally would want to help people. And a very very talented, very creative person and so forth. That took the business in a different way. Somebody that, like I said, love teaching, and especially with working with him as well on his fitness and stuff like that. So I would say that would be a legacy too as well, because it would kind of pass down from my dad to me. So definitely that's something that I would say that'd be passed down to him if he listened to me more. I'm working on it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would say those few things there. And a person that's got a genuine heart and love, and definitely want to see people make it.
Brilliant. Trey, thank you so much for coming on BTS and honoring me with your story and sharing everything you did with the audience. I wish you the best of luck in all your future endeavors, and I hope the business is successful and you can help tons of people.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man, and thank you for having me on the show, and definitely, and I'll definitely be following you too as well, man. I want to, and much success to you, man, as you keep going on. Because you said you just started this in 4 weeks, and already taking off. I admire that. So you're definitely gonna be seeing what you're doing. So some of that can rub off on me.
Thank you so much, Trey.
Yes,
Take
sir.
care.
All right, thank you too, man.